Hello and welcome to this first lesson of the Anatomy and Physiology course. Today we are going just to speak about the general features of this science, so this is just an introduction. It is important to know the specific terms that we normally use to describe our body, because in this way you will understand better what I'm talking about. So, first of all, we have to say what anatomy is. Anatomy is the study of the body parts and their relationships. We speak about macroscopic anatomy, which is the study of large body structures, for example, heart, lungs, kidneys, and so on. This microscopic anatomy can be divided into other subgroups, which are regional anatomy, where all structures are grouped, are gathered in one particular region. So this regional anatomy studies our body structures gathered in a specific region, as I said before. The systemic anatomy that studies system by system. The surface anatomy that studies the internal body structures. Then we have microscopic anatomy. Microscopic anatomy studies very small structures that cannot be seen with naked eyes. It can also be divided in other subgroups, which are cytology, that studies body cells, histology, which is the study of body tissues, and then we have developmental anatomy, that studies the structural changes to the body throughout lifespan. Developmental anatomy can also be divided into embryology, which studies the development which occur before birth. What about the physiology? The physiology is the study of the body function. We can divide it into system physiology, that studies the body system's function, comparative physiology, which is the study of various characteristics of living organisms, medical physiology, which is the study of physiological dysfunction and diseases. Our body can be divided in structural levels, which are chemicals, the combination of atoms to form molecules. From chemicals, we have cells, the cells are the basic living units. They have common characteristics and differ in structure and function. Above cells, we have tissues. The tissues are a tissue is a group of cells with similar structure and function. So, for example, we have the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, nervous tissue, and so on. Above tissues, we have organs. Two or more tissues work together, perform one or more common function, and in this way they form an organ. An organ is, for example, the eye, the skin, the stomach, the heart. Above organ we have systems, a group of organs of a common function. So, for example, the skeletal system, the muscular system, nervous system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, lymphatic system, respiratory system, and finally digestive system. So let's talk about each system. Integumentary system is the first one. It's a sort of external cover of the body. It protects deeper tissues from injury. It is the site of cutaneous receptors, sweat and oil glands. Skeletal system is made of bones. It protects and supports body organs. Muscular system is made of muscles. It produces body movement. The nervous system consists of brain, sensory receptors, nerves, and spinal cord. It controls homeostasis by stimulating particular muscles contraction and gland secretion. Endocrine system that produces hormones to regulate body processes. Then we have cardiovascular system that transports blood to the body. Then we have lymphatic and immune system that protects the body by attacking foreign substances entering body system. The respiratory system that supplies blood by oxygen and removes carbon dioxide. The digestive system breaks down the food for absorption and while indigestible food is removed as feces thanks to this important system that we have. The urinary system is important for the regulation of water, electrolytes and acid-base balance in the body. Then we have the reproductive system, that is important for the production of babies. And then we have to talk about homeostasis, which is the body's ability to maintain relatively stable internal conditions, although the external environment keeps changing. And this is made of three components. It is made of receptors, integrators and effectors. So the receptor is important because it gets the output. Then we have the integrator that is important to decide the right response to a specific output. And then the effector which carries out the action. The homeostasis works with two different processes: the positive feedback process and the negative feedback process. But the most part of these processes are negative feedback processes. Now we have to talk about the anatomical position and the words that we normally use to describe the different parts of our body. So the anatomical position, that is the position that we use to describe our body, is a standing position with the body erect, facing forward, feet slightly apart, arms hanging and palms also facing forward. The directional terms that we use are important to explain and locate precisely where the body structure is and its relation to another. The directional terms are important to explain and locate precisely where the body structure are and their relation to one another. These terms are, for example, superior or cranial, which is toward head end, so above. Then we have inferior or caudal, which is away head end, so below. Then we have anterior or ventral, which is the front of the body, while posterior or dorsal is behind the body. Then we say medial, which is midline of the body, so inner, while lateral is away from the midline, so outer. Intermediate means between medial and lateral. Proximal is close to body origin, while distal is away from body origin. Superficial or external is toward body surface, while deep or internal means away from body surface. So let's talk about the regional terms. We say axial region to refer to the axis of our body that comprises. Now let's talk about the regional terms. The axial region is the axis of our body, so it is made of three parts: head, neck and trunk. The perpendicular region refers to the limbs or appendages, so the body parts that are attached to the axis. Another important thing to say is the planes, the body planes and the sections. We normally imagine and we normally refer to the sagittal plane when describing the different parts of the body. So the sagittal plane is a vertical plane that divides body into right and left. The sagittal plane that exactly cut in the middle is called mid-sagittal or median plane. The sagittal plane that offset from median line is called parasagittal plane. Another plane is the frontal plane, which is a vertical line that divides the body to anterior and posterior parts. The transverse plane is a horizontal plane which divides body into superior and inferior. And we also use, when describing the different parts of the body, we also use terms of motion like flexion, extension, or abduction, adduction, supine and prone position, or medial rotation, lateral rotation, pronation, supination. Our body is also made of different cavities. The body cavities are dorsal cavity that protects nervous system, and it has got two subdivisions, which are cranial cavity, that protects the brain, and spinal cavity that protects the spinal cord. The ventral cavity houses visceral organs. It has got two subdivisions: thoracic cavity for lungs and mediastinum that contains heart, esophagus, trachea and other important organs. Then we have the abdominopelvic cavity for the abdominal and pelvic organs like stomach, intestines, spleen, liver, bladder, reproductive system and rectum. So this first lesson has come to an end, and I'll see you next time. Bye!